for your weather this
All
year.
right, Mao. It's the month of Mao.
So, well, I last Saturday went and saw Captain Marvel.
You and a whole lot of people.
Yeah, I quite loved it. It's the 21st movie in the MCU, and has already made over $500 million, and is the 6th largest world release weekend, despite some loud people on the internet saying it would bomb. So one thing I found odd though was the trailers don't feel quite like they're setting up the movie well. Like, I don't know, it felt like there was some disconnect between the trailers and the movie. But the first act kind of draws almost on Star Trek, sort of like the first act in Black Panther draws on James Bond. It's so Brie Larson is the main role, and she plays Veers, who is a Kree soldier with no memory of her past. Which
a Kree soldier? Oh yeah. Kree. I was like,
Kree are the
they're from Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah, they were mentioned in Guardians. Yep, and then they also show up on like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and some stuff. And yeah, they're a big thing in the comics. They're like an alien empire, and they're ruled by a supreme intelligence. So I'm not a huge fan of Amnesia personally, but I think they were fine the way they used it. She's very rash, cocky, and impulsive to a fault. And to use magic terms, she's like super red, which is probably why I love her.
Are you trying to tell me she likes?
It all makes sense.
She likes to play direct damage cards a lot.
Yeah, probably.
You're a big fan of her comics and stuff too, right?
Yep. One of my favorite descriptions I saw someone use was when Captain America gets knocked down, he gets back up because it's the right thing to do. When Captain Marvel gets knocked down, she gets back up because fuck you.
That's
yeah, it's just funny. So she serves under Jan Rog, who is played by Jude Law, and he is constantly trying to train her to suppress her emotions and, act like a good soldier for the Kree, and just, forget her past. It's not relevant.
Forget your past. It's all the past.
It's just serve the Kree, and that's all you need to do. And we get to see them out on a mission. There's this bit in the opening where there's just like they're like a strike force on a mission, and I would really like to actually see more of that, like a whole movie dedicated to that, because I don't know, that whole scene is just really cool. And it's just not something you get to see in Marvel a lot, because it's usually focused on the heroes and stuff. Even in Guardians, it's not. I mean, they're just a ragtag group and everything, but like this was like a well-oiled machine taking on a task, and it was pretty cool and with alien tech.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just neat.
It was like, did they kind of just do like a lot of hacking stuff and like, or was it like really?
No, like there's a gun that you like paint a bunch of targets and then you shoot it, and then it blows a hole through one person and then bounces between a bunch of others.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't know. The effects were really cool. It's just a dynamic you hadn't really seen in Marvel yet, at least like that. But then shortly after, she ends up on Earth, and we leave the space stuff behind. And it's Earth in the mid 90s, 95, I believe. And because from the trailer, she crashes through a Blockbuster. So really hey, it's the 90s. They also use music to really sell the time period, which I like a lot. And I thought the song's really great.
Please tell me was Ice
no
Vanilla Ice, God.
I just needed to know. Ah, damn it. She'll never have heard Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
Oh God, the one thing that can defeat Captain Marvel.
One thing that can defeat anybody.
Ninja Turtles too.
Well, they have come out with Batman and the Ninja Turtles movies coming out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they're
that
DC,
sounds
not
good.
well. I just remembered they're both, I guess, aren't they? Because they're actually they were created from the same ooze that gave Daredevil his powers.
Really?
Yeah, and there's it's a
I didn't know that.
So I guess they have connections to both.
I guess I say they have connections because they're kind of like their own base. So I guess.
Yeah. It was like it's like a lamp shading or something, or a reference to it. But yeah, it's just funny. I just remembered that. But anyway, I digress.
So like when she crashes in the 90s, does she
Yeah.
kind of stay on Earth for like forever?
Yeah, almost. Basically, yeah. The whole rest of the movie is now Earth focused.
Okay. So quick question then, like, does the movie? Because I haven't seen it yet. So, but does the movie like just kind of fall into the 90s then for the rest of the movie, and then?
Yes, it takes place over a few days.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I need to go see this movie just to go live the 90s again.
Yeah. There's definitely some 90s, like it definitely feels square in the 90s, like and it's because she runs into Shield, which and it involves Nick Fury, and the age reduction tech is getting so crazy because it just looks like young Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Like that's it. He just looks like he was like out of the past.
Gee whiz.
You can't like the only time it feels a little weird is when
there was a Pulp Fiction reference in it too.
I've never seen the movie, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, he kind of has an old man run, but
he's actually old, so
he is in his 70s.
Yeah.
Weird they didn't use a stunt double for that, but it must have had something to do with the age technology, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Awesome. And so yeah, from there you kind of get a buddy cop dynamic for the rest of the movie, and it comes off great. Like their chemistry is so good. The way they work together, I loved it. And it's nice to get to see more of background on Fury after all this time. All the movies he's been in, but he's been very closed off because that's who he is. In this, you get to see him as a young Shield agent, like in contrast to before he becomes the director and all that, and the huge name he is in Shield. There's also a cat in the movie named Goose, who is great and steals a lot of the scenes it's in, and I
have to go see it.
You just get to see Nick Fury just like fawning over this cat, like it's just great.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then there is Ben Mendelsohn, who plays a lot of villains, and he is Talos, leader of the Skrulls, who the Kree are trying to eradicate. And he does a really great job. He doesn't come off as just a boring phase 2 villain, right? Like from Marvel. He comes across as kind of very affable, even like when he's got he's torturing you or whatever, probing you for secrets. Basically, it's just I don't know. He just comes across much better than some, or at least some of their older villains. I think Marvel is just getting way better at
writing the villains.
Yeah, and whatnot.
That's good to hear because I mean they're obviously a very big part of the series and movies in general. If your villain's not fun, or if your villain's not a good villain, so to speak.
Yeah, they moved away from the disposable one-shot villains, basically.
Although
Ronan is also in this movie from Guardians.
Yeah,
and so is the other guy from Guardians. I cannot remember his name, but he's like in the start where he finds Star-Lord and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, Star-Lord. Who? That guy. I can't remember his name. But he's part of the strike team with Veers and Rog. But I did enjoy seeing like more using the character, even minor characters more. Like they're going to end up with such a huge just a huge catalog of characters in their movies. It's nice when they can use some overlap. Also,
that's always better than like generic Soldier A or
right.
whoever.
Yeah, even like it's not a whole lot. Also, Coulson came back for this because it's in the 90s before the Avengers when he dies. But he's not. There's not. Honestly, I would have loved more of him. He's not in it a whole lot. It would have been great to see more, but I can understand why they didn't use him a whole ton because he's just some like rookie. Like, I think he's like is like his first week on the job or something.
That's it.
But also, so no romance subplot, which is something I will always enjoy in like action movies, basically, where they like a lot of them seem to just get it crammed into the.
Yeah, you don't want to force it in.
Right. Like, I mean, does every phase 1 movie have like some romance subplot?
Yeah.
But yeah, so none of that, and instead you get to focus on Veer's relationships with her mentor Jan Rog, and then those on Earth, and her figuring out who she is. Though in over 20 movies now into the MCU, I've kind of gotten met on origin movies. They are kind of, I think, the weakest link in a story, which we haven't had one since Doctor Strange, because they like. Or at least not jumping straight into a new hero since Doctor Strange, because Black Panther got some time in Civil War, and so did Spider-Man, who everyone knows his origin by now.
Yeah.
Good Lord, does everybody know his origin?
But they did use it like they had her. It starts off she's already powered up, and they use flashbacks in like a good way to catch the audience up. Overall, I just think the character work in the movie, like the story's nothing special, but I just loved all the characters in the movie. They all were just great. I think every role was just so good. And then the movie ends up like it has some good turns and lampshades some tropes that I can tend to be like overdone. They just which I always love. I don't know. And there's more I could say about it, but I don't want to spoil it. Ultimately, it was another Marvel movie, which they've gotten pretty good at making them. They've also, I think they're getting better at the whole letting serious moments hang without, it immediately undercutting it with a joke.
Yeah.
But the movie is still pretty funny. Personally, I'd put it between like an 8 or 9. But like critically, it probably is closer to like the Captain Strange level.
Yeah, I've seen most people say it's like pretty much like the norm.
Doctor Strange,
as far as quality was.
Right, and it is between like everyone's waiting for Endgame. Like,
I mean, it's only going to come out in about
a month
and a week's
time. A little over a month.
We got a new trailer.
They just dropped the second trailer today.
Yeah, it just dropped.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the superhero fatigue a little bit, I think. I mean, I'm honestly surprised it took so long. That's why I haven't seen this yet. Like, I'll probably just honestly wait till it. I don't know if it will be out on video before the new Avengers.
No, it won't.
Maybe I'll wait till a cheap theater or something. But I was like, oh yeah, that came out.
I'll still go see them. Like, I think I'll always see a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I think I'll probably be done after Endgame, because it'll be like the nice bow, and then. There you go.
I mean, I think Spider-Man looks...
Or as far as, like, seeing them... Like, really caring about seeing them really quick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to fall off on that a little bit, so...
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was definitely appealed to me, and my roommate loved it too. But now it's just... it'll feel like an eternity waiting for Endgame.
It's only not that long now. It's like the first week of May.
Just gotta live for another month. I think it's the 26th.
Just gotta live for another month.
The 26th of May?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's like 2 months, so.
Yeah. It's like a month and a half. Or not May, April. Sorry, April 26th.
Okay. Yeah, that you can deal with that, Mal. You can make it. I believe in you. It's the year of Mal.